Welcome to part 2. This is the point where we cook this brisket. So what we've got to do, we've got to put it in this smoker. Got a bit of smoke rolling through here. I'm going to put it on the top shelf. What I'm doing, pop it in the middle. What I want is that smoke, as it's coming underneath the tuning plate of this reverse flow cooker, it's going to go up and around, then the smoker's going to roll over me brisket, just like that. The hottest point is where the heat comes from the firebox up and around and over. So I put the thickest part of my brisket facing the warmest spot. So I'll pop it in, shut the door, and we'll have a quick chat about what I'm looking for while this is cooking. So what I'm doing here, I want this to cook to 165 to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. And at that point I'll wrap. During that process, I'll make sure it's getting a few spritz. So this is my beef spritz. It's 500 ml Worcestershire sauce, 500 ml water. So 50-50 Worcestershire sauce water ratio. And I use this on all my beef. It's different to my pork. Just gives a little bit different flavour. So what I'm looking for in this brisket, I want this brisket to cook to 165 degrees Fahrenheit to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to start to get a beautiful bark on it. The bark is that chewy outside deliciousness where the smoke sits and lays. Smoke doesn't penetrate meat very far, so it's all going to be in that surface. So I want all my smoke concentrated on the outer layer, giving it a spritz, allow that smoke to go over this soluble Worcestershire sauce water solution until it penetrates the meat. This brisket's going to cook for 8 to 10 hours. It takes a really long time. It gets a low and slow treatment. It's one of those cuts which are extremely tough if you don't cook it in this way. It's a working muscle. It's got lots of connective fibres, has lots of collagen and whatnot running throughout it. It needs to break down. And the only way you can do that is over a long time at low temperatures. So this brisket needs to cook to 205 degrees Fahrenheit internal. And at this point, we'll pull it out. We'll let it rest. Resting is a fundamental part of the cooking process. That brisket's got all this heat in it. It needs the opportunity to relax. So when we come to carve it, it's not tight. So it just falls and is soft and tender. So that's when you'll see it next. Right, we're going to wrap this brisket now. So the reasons why we're going to wrap this brisket is because it's hit the stall. So essentially what's happening is moisture is being drawn up out from inside this brisket and is sitting on the surface layer. What that does is cool this brisket down. The same as a human sweats, it's the same process. When you sweat, hot air goes over the top, evaporates, it cools the body down. It's the same with the brisket. So what I do, I'll wrap this, it will continue to sweat, but it will have nowhere to go. So it will continue to cook and work past the stall. So we're going to wrap this brisket. Take it out. Pop it on the paper, the aluminium foil rather. Wrap it over again. Wrap it a third time. Now, make sure you get this brisket completely, tightly wrapped. And then we're going to pop it in. And next time you'll see this is when we're carving her up.